Hey everyone, Backyard Farmer Pat here. We are on my half-acre property in Central Florida. I'm in Zone 9B, and today we're gonna be doing a tour of my 3-year-old property, guys. When you see where I've come from, and this property had nothing, and we're still in winter now. Today is February 5th, and we're gonna do a tour. I'm gonna show you what is blossoming, what is fruiting. Some things are still a little bit bald because it's winter, but guys, wait until you see how much this property and my trees have grown. Let's get started, guys. Backyard tour 2025. All right, guys, let me tell you, everything has grown tremendously over the past 3 years. And even since my last tour of I think the last tour was probably in the fall. When you compare the plants now to what was in fall, you can see the tremendous growth. Let's start over here, and we're probably gonna do a little bit of harvesting along the way. So this is my papaya tree, and I have been harvesting papayas almost daily. Um, Unfortunately, we've had some animals come through and they've been eating the papayas. So I've been picking the papayas when they're basically this size. But all right. So we have this beautiful papaya here. As you remember, this is the tree that I had chopped. It had gone all the way up to the electric wires. So we had to cut it back. And then, from there, we've been getting like, I've already harvested probably 6 papayas. Next, guys, believe it or not, this is the 3-year-old, now it's 4-year-old seedling of a Bombay Julie mango. And I want to just stand beside it so you can get an idea of just how big this is. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera. Let me try and pan up. Then I'm going to stand beside it so you can see just how big this tree is. All right. That's not quite the top. So that's the top, up by where the wires are. And then I'm going to walk over to it so you can see how big it is. Look at this, guys. This is this was planted during COVID, July of 2020. Now we're in 2025. It was just like a small seedling, still had a seed attached, maybe a foot and a half tall. And guys, in 4 years, this is how big the seedling got. And I actually harvested Julie Bombay mangoes last year. So far, the blossoms are still looking pretty green. So I'm hoping that these will be okay. There are some that are drying up, but they're basically looking pretty green still. So I'm hoping that those are good. Again, here's another papaya tree. This one here, these have the biggest papayas of all. You can see, this is my hand, and you can see how huge these papayas are. Actually massive. Each papaya is like about 5 pounds. So I've only had one papaya so far from this tree. However, I can see some yellow, so I'm probably gonna pick them. Normally, guys, if you don't have any problems with squirrels or rats or fruit rats, it's best to let the papayas ripen until they're fully orange or yellow on the tree. That's where they'll be sweetest. However, if you have animals, it's always okay to pick them when they get to this stage and allow them to ripen on the tree. Right beside it, believe it or not, guys, this is the little baby Kerry mango, and this has grown tremendously. I'm gonna try and get a picture of what it was like before. This is a Kerry mango tree, and let me stand beside it so you can see. This was a very, very small tree, guys. This was a very small tree just last year. Now it is just absolutely loaded. Every inch is completely loaded with blossoms. So I'm expecting a bumper crop. Last year, I believe we got 16 Kerry mangoes. This year, oh my gosh, the sky is the limit. Look at this. Look at these blossoms. And the blossoms, again, the blossoms are looking good. The blossoms are looking good. Some of the stems are showing a little bit of fungus, that black sooty mold. I actually sprayed it yesterday with a little bit of sulfur, which is 100% natural, 100% normal. I mean, healthy and okay to spray. So I sprayed it with a little bit of organic sulfur yesterday. Sulfur is supposed to help with the black sooty mold. It's actually the best thing to use on blossoms. Neem oil, copper fungicide doesn't always work, but sulfur is a lot more effective. So I sprayed my trees yesterday. So I'm just really praying for a big harvest of cherry mangoes. This tree is massive now, really, really massive and full of blossoms. This was my everbearing mulberry. It's completely bald right now. Of course, we are in winter, so you can see this is what the mulberries look like. Oops, a couple of them actually. There were a few more on the tree, but I think they were eaten or they fell off. But the mulberries are very everbearing mulberries are very small. When they're ripe, they turn almost black, like jet black, and that's when they're sweetest. These are still green. Even though they're red, they're not ready to eat. Anyway, in hopefully, God willing, in another couple weeks or a couple months, this should be full of leaves and blossoms. Down here, guys, these are all volunteers. These are Florida mustard greens. I have some bok choy here. And then this is a very special plant that I just planted. This one is actually a jabuticaba. And you can see it has a lot of new growth. This is the newest plant to the food forest. It's only been here maybe a couple of months. It's already sprouting. Jabuticaba, it's like a grape tree. So it grows these purple fruit along the stem, and they're like they taste like grapes. I've never tasted it, but I keep hearing how wonderful Jabuticaba is. So really looking forward to trying that. Back there is my pineapple patch. So far I've only harvested one pineapple. I know they say there's a trick of putting a slice of apple in the mature pineapple to get them to fruit. I may be doing that now because these are at least 2 years old. So definitely I should be getting some more pineapple fruit this year. And then here, guys, here's another new plant to the forest. This one is not a fruit though. Um uh this is an ornamental. So this is the Japanese lantern. It's an absolutely beautiful plant. This is gonna grow and give me lots of lantern blooms. I got this when I visited South Florida, so I'm looking forward to this growing. Then I just have various ornamentals around. Then here is my naseberry tree, and the naseberries are holding on well. They're the largest one. Unfortunately, I knocked it off by mistake, but we still have several naseberries on here. Let me open it up so you can see what it looks like. Guys, I have to have them double bagged to keep away squirrels. That is my beautiful naseberry or sapodillo. It's like brown sugar on the inside. I had 9 on there, knocked a couple off by mistake. One prematurely ripened, knocked a couple off by mistake. However, I'll be sure to protect the remaining fruit. Last year, I got my first fruit in the first ripe fruit in the month of February. We are now in February, so I suspect I'll be eating fruit within the next few weeks. Here we have some banana plants. These aren't fruiting, but I have a whole lot more that are fruiting that I'll show you. Here is a Barbados cherry. Here we have another banana that hasn't fruited yet. I have my Otaiti apple that's finally growing. This is a very, very slow grower for me so far. This is one of my all-time favorite fruit. So I was really looking forward to getting some fruit, but not this year, but definitely next year. Right beside it, I have some Boro bananas, which can be used as planting also. And you can see I've already harvested one of the banana plants, and chopped that one back. And then here we have a couple of hands of Boro. Not quite ready. Probably needs another month or so to ripen. And here you can see where I chopped the last plant. Whenever with bananas, plantains, all those kind of bananas and plantains, you chop them down to the base after they fruit, and then the other stems will fruit. With bananas, these aren't actually trees, they're actually stems, so the other stems will fruit. Right beside it, I have a Mexican sunflower, which I like to use as chop and drop. I literally chop this up and put it all around the garden. Here I have a Blackie mango. This is a seedling that came from my in-laws' house. They had a few seedlings at at the base of their Blackie mango. So really looking forward to Blackie mango, which is one of the Jamaican favorites, but very, very rare to find. Back here, I have a whole bunch of cassavas along the fence that I'm about to harvest soon. And right in front of it, this is a Barbados cherry. No blossoms yet, but it's looking really green, really healthy. We got some good fruit last year, really, really tasty, nice, plump, beautiful fruits. So I'm really looking forward to getting some good fruit this year. So in the center aisle, um, we have lots going on here in the center. We have a tangerine tree. This was a very small plant that I planted last summer, and it's now my height. So hopefully we'll be getting some nice, yummy tangerine this year. And of course, in Florida, you fight that the citrus greening, but so far this looks decent. I do see a little bit of greening at the bottom, but overall the plant looks good. I'm probably gonna go back in here and just in case, not sure if this is greening or not, but I'm gonna just remove these leaves and take them out of the garden. But everything else looks really green so far, so I'm hoping it'll be okay. This is a sapodillo or naseberry seedling. I grew this from a seed from my brother's property again. This was planted in 2020. It looks small, but it's a dwarf naseberry, so it's not going to get much bigger than this. So I'm hoping that we will get some naseberry blossoms this year. This year would make it year 5. It was planted, yes, in July. The seed was planted in July of 2020. So July of this year will make it year 5. Right, and all in the center here, these are all my lobster claws here and over by the island. I expect to have dozens and dozens of beautiful lobster claws pretty soon. Then right here we have an ackee seed, ackee tree. This was planted from seed also back in 2025, I believe. Either in 2020. This was planted from seed either in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember now. But this is an ackee seedling, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get ackees this year. The other ackee tree, which was actually smaller than this one when it was first planted, gave us ackees for the first time last year. So I'm expecting ackees from both trees this year. Right beside it, this is a circle of hog plums that I planted last year. These are all from cuttings, 3 different kind of hog plums. We have the yellow coat plum, we have a red coat hog plum from my plant, and then these are what we thought were orange coat hog plums, but they are different species of hog plum. They are red, but they grow a lot faster and they keep their leaves. As you can see, this one still has leaves, and normally hog plums drop their leaves in the winter. Also with this hog plum, it blossoms from the crown. So if I pull this down, I have to be very gentle. If you look at the crown, you can see that they're actually blossoms. Let me see if I can blow this up. Guys, you see? Oops. It's actually already blossoming, and it's February. So that's really, really great. So I'm going to be getting hog plums from the cuttings that I started just last year. We have figs over here. We have a lemon, Myers lemon, and key lime right here. I have my katuk. Here is my avocado, my long neck avocado. This also, guys, has been cut at least 3 times actually. I've cut this back 3 times. Let me just step back to show you. This is probably 15 feet up into the air. This is like amazing. Right beside my moringas that I've chopped back several times. So right now it's just beginning to spring again. I think the last time I cut it was maybe a month ago. Then over here, I just did a video showing you how I heavily prune my sweet sops. So these are sweet sops or sugar apple trees, and you can see not only that I do give them a drastic prune, I've removed just about all the leaves except for a few leaves on top that I couldn't reach, which I'll probably just chop anyway because I want to be able to reach them. But these are my sugar apple trees that were just cut. And in no time, guys, these are going to be sprouting new leaves. They haven't started yet. Oh, wait. Look. Look. Wow. Guys, look. Let me try and zone in. This is already sprouting leaves. Look at that. I literally just cut this back. I don't think it was even 2 weeks and it's already sprouting leaves. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Don't be afraid. Chop it back. Sweet sops or sugar apples, they give you fruit on the new growth, not on old growth. So I chop it back drastically to form more new growth and I'll have more fruit. Right beside it, propping it up, is my tuna plant. And you can see that is also trying to flower. I just haven't had anybody to help me prop it up yet. But, next time my sons come through, I'm hoping to get this propped up. You can see it's about to push some fruit, some flowers and fruit. So I didn't try the fruit last year. Maybe this year I will, because you can see, oh my gosh, look at that, guys. It's fruiting or flowering everywhere. Look at that. Beautiful. So that's my tuna plant that fell over. It's extremely heavy. My husband is a very, very strong guy and he wasn't able to lift it on his own. It's super, super heavy. Behind there, I have my curry leaf plant. I have not used this much. I keep hearing how delicious it is in meats and in everything. So I think what I'm gonna do this year is I'm gonna chop it back, harvest the leaves and dry them, and then use them as a seasoning. Curry leaf plant is used a lot across Asia. I have various crotons here. This is my bay rum tree, and I just love the smell of my bay rum. Oh my goodness. This was actually in the ground before, but I transferred it to a large pot so that I could put my mountain soursop. And guys, you can see this is a very special soursop. It actually did not lose its leaves. It's looking very green, very beautiful, even in the midst of winter when all the other Annona family, like the sweet sop, the soursops, the Rollinias, everything has lost its leaf. This is in the Annona family. It's a mountain soursop. I heard it's even more medicinal than the normal soursop. So that's why I have it carefully so that nobody weed whacks it. So looking forward to my mountain soursop growing. Right here, I have my Okinawan spinach, which I just started using. It's related to the longevity spinach, but the unique thing about this, the back of the leaf is like a purple color. So full of nutrition, extremely healthy, um, and definitely I'll be using more of this in my shakes primarily. The leaves are thicker than normal spinach. The taste is pretty mild. So I guess you can, it's fine for stir fries. I've done it with eggs. I've put it in my shakes. I guess it'll be great as a side dish. I definitely need to be eating more of this because it's huge, and I don't want it to go to waste. So I'll probably harvest some and freeze some so it can spring new. Um, when we had a hurricane back in October and the papaya trees fell down. But guys, the papaya trees actually are springing back even though they fell all the way down to the ground. And no blossoms yet, but oh yeah. Wow. As tiny as it is, you can see some blossoms coming out. So not sure if they'll hold because this is literally on the ground. You can see it's like literally down on the ground, but I'll just leave it, let nature do its thing. Then guys, look at this. This is my hog plum walk. Look at this hog plum tree, guys. It has gotten huge. I had chopped them all back, all the hog plums, the top branches. But you can see I chopped them back, but they are way up in the air. This is a red coat hog plum, yellow coat, and another yellow coat. Let me just give you a little perspective on how big these plum trees actually are now. This was a small plum tree that I had back at the Silver Lakes home. Moved it here. Last year we had a bumper crop. Now that it's twice the size, it's gonna be even bigger. This was actually, we thought it had died. It was just on the stump. I left the stump in the ground, and from that, all this grew. chop this branch back. I didn't chop those other ones back, but again, a bumper crop. This one is a yellow coat hog plum. Everything has just gotten so much bigger, guys. All these up here, these are all my cassavas. Whew, these are all my cassavas that I've been chopping back. We definitely due for a cassava harvest. Over here, I have my chaya plant that I chopped back. I chopped it drastically. That was literally as tall as the cassavas, but I did a drastic chop back. I use it as chop and drop. This is also known as Mexican tree spinach. Um, it- it's it's thought of it's in certain parts of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula. It's known as God's gift because it's believed to cure over 100 diseases. I It has to be cooked. You cannot have it raw because I believe the leaves have cyanide. But how I use it, I've been actually chopping it up and just using it in soups. I've cooked it with eggs. You only need to cook it like 10 minutes, and the flavor is actually very good. All right. So let's see what else we have in our forest. My frangipanis that broke with the storm has been coming back. And of course our philodendron are looking just absolutely beautiful. So over here is another huge star. This is my guys, this is um the little East Indian mango tree. This is my little East Indian mango tree that is now a big East Indian mango tree and now has lots of blossoms. Look at the top. Look at the top. I can't reach any of those mangoes that's up in the air. The East Indian mango tree is actually taller than the banana trees now. This is where I am. This is how tall I am. I can see a few blossoms here, and that is how tall the tree is. And over right beside it, we have loads of bananas, guys. We have loads of bananas. These started fruiting last year, and it looks like they're almost ready. So this one is a 6-hand bunch. No, this is a one, two, I think this is like an 8-hand bunch actually. Beautiful bananas, ready to eat probably within the next few weeks. Then right beside it, it's its twin, also loaded. They both fruited like within a week of each other. So this one is also almost ready. Then back here, guys, this is like my mini banana walk. Back here, this one is actually fruiting over by, the fruit are hanging over the neighbor's yard. But if you zoom in, this, I believe this may be another Bora banana by the shape of it. It could be a Bora banana. But guys, I've always told you about how much I love to grow bananas because they just fruit and they multiply. You know, with bananas, of course, it fruits once, you chop it down, but then it sends up so many suckers. So all my banana plants throughout the property have multiple suckers growing around them, and each sucker just fruits. As soon as one is done, another one starts. Beside it, there's a plantain, not doing much. I got this over a year now. They said, well, about a year. It's about exactly a year. But when I bought it, they said it would fruit within a year. But as you can see, it's still small on the ground. So that's a bit of a disappointment. Anyway, let's go on to the other side. Let's look at, oh, before we get to the other side, guys, let's look at my June plum tree. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at my June plums. Look at my June plums. My June plums are actually laden right now. Look at them. All different sizes, all different stages of growth. But look at this. Tons and tons of June plums. Beautiful June plums. The first 2 years here, every winter, all my June plums would fall off because the tree was just too young. I just absolutely love that this is a dwarf. This is probably 3.5, 4 feet. No, I don't think it's 4 feet yet because this is literally at my hip. So, guys, all these beautiful June plums I can just walk out and eat. And the fact that they didn't fall off, and the fact that it is now beginning to sprout again, as you can see right here, I am gonna have loads of June plum year round because last year I had to wait for them to start fruiting again because all the blossoms fell off, all the fruit fell off. So that's why there are so many green ones here. But now these will have a chance to develop while additional blossoms and come. So I'm really looking forward to having my year-round June plum. All right, so we're gonna go really fast. We're gonna go on to the other side of the garden. You can see papayas, we have guavas, more bananas, more bananas. These are dwarf bananas. I've been eating these bananas. These are so good. These bananas are small, but they're really, really good boiled. You just put them in the water. You basically, let me show you what you do. To eat green bananas, you just cut the ends off. You cut both ends off, drop them in the water, and then they'll boil them for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how firm your bananas are. You wait until they're fork tender, and by that time, the skin splits by itself and just falls off, and then you're ready to eat it. You can eat the green bananas just like you eat a potato. They are packed in with iron. This is my tropical island. You can see my Monstera delicioso. I have multiple orchids all throughout. None of them are flowering yet. Guys, I can tell you, if you remember from last year, within the next couple of months, all of this is going to be covered with flowers. You can see this one here is just beginning to spike right now. So all of these, some of them are ground orchids, different species of orchids. One of them is actually this one is actually a spider orchid. No, can't remember which one. Oh, yeah, this one. This one is actually a spider orchid, guys. This one has a bloom that's up to 10 feet tall. Of course, this I just got this cut in. So it's gonna take a while to grow, but I plan on attaching this to one of my oak trees. This has a 10-foot spike. I'll put a picture of one on the screen so you can see what it looks like. Got this orchid from my friend Michael. This is actually the Dancing Lady orchids. It was attached to a tree, so he gave me the tree stump. So looking forward to having that. Anyway, let's go on the other side. More bananas, guys. I tell you, these bananas, they don't stop. More bananas everywhere. But I want to show you my guava tree on the other side, the other guava. Just showed it two in the island, but let's check out the other guava. But let's walk this way. Let's walk through my veggie garden on the way to the guavas. Guys, look at my veggie garden. This garden has been so absolutely productive. This is not a vegetable, this is actually a fruit. This is loquat that I grew from seed, and as you can see, they're doing extremely well. Grew some these are like special loquats that I got from a nursery. I got the fruit and I planted the seeds, so I have multiple healthy loquats coming up now. Most of my greens, not most, yeah, a good amount of, yeah, most of my greens have gone to seed. My bok choys and mainly my bok choys have gone to seed and my chijimisai. But I allow them to go to seed, guys, because not only do I love to look at the flowers, but I also love that they attract loads of pollinators. If you look right here, you can see the little bees buzzing around the flowers. And when they come to buzz around the flowers, then they go right next to the flowers and they pollinate my tomatoes. So I have loads of tomatoes. All these tomatoes were planted back in October. Some were planted from seed, some were seedlings, but I have loads of tomatoes coming in now. I was battling with a cold. The leaves were kind of a little bit beat up. Looks like a little bit of fungus on some of the leaves now. But the tomatoes look great. The tomatoes actually look great. Looking forward to eating some really good tomatoes, and it's still blossoming despite the fungus on the leaves. We actually still have some bok choy here that we still can eat. I could just take off the flowers. The bok choy is perfectly fine. We have cabbages back here. They're pretty, they're growing slowly but surely, but there are some cabbages back here. Lots of different herbs, cilantros, parsley. Same thing over here. We have cilantro. Lots of nasturtiums everywhere. We have carrots and everywhere. Oh, here we have loads of zinnias. All these zinnias literally popped up from seeds that fell last year. And all the nasturtiums you see throughout the garden, the orange, the yellow, all these nasturtiums, these are huge. These were actually planted back in October from seed. Here I have some more tomatoes. These are the Thornburn tomatoes planted all from seed. Over this side, more tomatoes. Back here, we have loads of mustard greens. I've been eating mustard greens, giving some away, selling some. Um, Loads of mustard greens. All the bok choys that we have throughout the garden, I've been doing cut and come again. So all these bok choys, it might look like you think that they're getting wasted because they've gone to seed, but we've eaten multiple times. We've eaten, we've given away, we've sold. But I always like to collect my seeds. For those of you who have like a ton of bok choys going to seed, even these seed pods are edible. They're really good stir fried or just eaten fresh. Tastes just like bok choy, right? Again, we have more tomatoes, lots of plants going to seed. And over here, we have, ooh, these bees. We have loads of carrots here on this side, carrots on that side. We have some bigger cabbages. So these are cabbages that I transplanted from the cabbages that I showed you earlier back there. So it looks like these like the spot a little bit more. These are little cabbages and looks like they're just beginning to fold. Guys, it's actually my very first time growing cabbages, so very proud of my cabbages even though they aren't huge. More carrots, lots of scallion, green onions, guys. I planted green onions in every single bed, everywhere. And I noticed this year I've had, I would say I've had almost zero pest pressure. So I think it's because you guys can see I don't just plant one thing, I plant everything together. Speaking of everything, there's some turmeric. I planted some turmeric here. And then over in this bed, you can't see it, but there's loads of ginger in this bed. This tomato popped up, a volunteer from last year, and basically took over the bed. But that's my ginger bed. I guess I could probably harvest it soon because it looks like most of the ginger died back. Again, nasturtium everywhere. And guys, for those of you who grow nasturtiums, guess what, guys? These flowers are edible. Mmm, mmm. Has a nice little spice to it. The back of the flower, the stem has a little sweetness, like a little nectar, but it's actually very, very pleasant. Very nice if you want to add it to salads. Even the leaves are edible. I have not eaten the leaves. In this bed, there's lots of cosmo flowers popping up. You can see they look like they're about to flower. I planted cosmos for the first time. The seeds fell. This cosmo flowers are coming back up. This entire center of the bed is scotch bonnet peppers. Um, I don't think we have too many right now. Oh, yeah. So we do have a few in there, but these are scotch bonnet peppers. I need to kind of clean this up, pull the nasturtiums back, and allow the scotch bonnets. I just left it like this because, as I said, we went through winter. It got really, really cold. So um, the cosmos are actually protecting the scotch bonnet peppers. And look, just want to show you from this angle how beautiful the vegetable garden is with all the various flowers, the cosmos, the zinnias. I had some marigolds in there and my peppers and tomatoes. Oh, so there's one pepper plant here that is doing very, oh, it's almost completely covered by I think this is cilantro. Mm, yep, no, yeah, it's cilantro. I have a Thai chili pepper. And here we have the cranberry hibiscus. This plant was transplanted. I cut it back and transplanted it, and as you can see, it's now blooming and it's looking really good. This these leaves are actually edible and they're full of medicinal value. Tastes just like you're eating cranberry. It's really good. Then, guys, this huge plant here is my ackee. So I had harvested some ackees and I was waiting for the rest to ripen. However, with the cold weather, the ackees turned black on the tree. So I haven't been able to actually harvest the rest. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This is actually cold damage. I just left them on there just in case any of them opened, but they didn't open. So just wanted to show you guys. But I expect to get loads of ackee. This is also a seedling. This is like maybe 3 years old. 3 years old? Yeah, 3 years old. I got it like a 1 foot seedling when I moved here, maybe 2.5 years ago. So it's exactly 3 years old, and it already gave me fruit. This ackee, which is our Jamaican national fruit and a part of our Jamaican national dish. Right below it, I have several ackee seedlings, naseberry seedlings, some June plum seedlings, and hog plums. And all these little ones are Scotch bonnet and pimento peppers that I plan on transplanting soon. So here, guys, is another great tree. This is my star fruit tree, and you can see it is absolutely loaded. But again, the birds and the animals have been having their way with this tree. But the good thing about these star fruit is that you can eat them even green. Right, girls? You can eat them even green. Even like this, when they're just slightly turned, they're very, very good. But this tree never fails. You can hardly see it. You have to like look really close. But you can see it. Those are actually fruit. It's loaded with fruit. So over here we have my pimento tree or allspice tree. That's actually inside the chicken run area because I like to have shade for the girls. Here are a number of cranberry hibiscus. Here's a tea plant. My friend Dan just gave me, and some a grape plant. This is my longan. Last year I got loads of longan for the first time, and it's still a very small tree. So I'm really looking forward to getting a lot of longan this year. It's not blossoming yet, but I do expect longan. We walked right past this additional bed. This bed is where I have a lot more mustard greens. These are just absolutely massive. In this bed, I kind of spread them out, so allowing them to come to their full size. Under here, I have more cabbages, and as you can see, loads of onions that look like they're getting pretty thick, pretty full. And also, here I have my peppers, my purple pumpkin peppers, more scallions, more mustard greens. Back there, I have my grapevine that I had cut back. So that will be springing soon. And then here I have my guavas. And looks like we have a couple guavas to harvest. Oh, guys, can you see? I can't even touch. I can't even reach. Hold on, let me try and grab this down. Let's try and grab this. We have a beautiful guava. We have a beautiful guava. That one I probably harvested tomorrow. I know there are more. Oh, here's another one. Yes, guys, still getting guavas. The leaves are really beat up with the winter, but I'm not worried because you can see it's already pushing new leaves. See right there? Already pushing new leaves. So even though it looks really beat up right now, in no time, it's going to have a bunch of new leaves and it's going to be loaded with guavas. Over here, you're going to see some damage from the cold. This is my special Miramar bananas, I call it. These bananas, you can see there's some cold damage. You can see the lighter color, but these are going to make it. However, on this side, you can see what cold damage looks like on bananas. These definitely won't make it. However, there is one bunch at the very top that's still green. So that one's going to make it. So just let me step back a little bit so you can see how big this banana circle has gotten. And you can see right beside it how huge, massive the guava tree now is. So just recently, I checked under here, and guys, look under there. There are more bananas coming out. You can barely see it. They're like wedged between the fence, but there's a huge bunch of bananas there. Looks like maybe a 7 or 8 hand bunch. I'm hoping this is showing up on the camera. I can't really tell. There's a glare so I can't see, but hopefully you guys can see that we have like another 8 hand bunch. And these bananas are really good. They're full-size bananas and really very, very tasty. Really good for boiling. So let's go check out the front yard. All right, so on my Turk's cap, which are, I believe they might be in the hibiscus family. They're doing really well. Here are my peaches, well, first of all, my pomegranate. Nothing yet, completely bald from the cold. And my peaches, the stems look like they want to blossom, but I've only had a few blossoms so far. Right now, this Florida, this is the Tropic Beauty. It has one peach blossom. The Florida Prince had some blossoms, but they haven't held yet. So I'm hoping to get some peaches. So across the front, we have 3 frangipani that are all looking really well. Of course, it's winter, so the leaves have fallen. But guys, I am so absolutely excited. Do you see this, guys? This is my lychee tree. And for the very first time, I actually have blossoms. I think these are blossoms. I see blossoms here. I've been checking these like almost every day. And this is the first time I've seen actual blossoms. So I'm super excited that my lychee tree is blossoming. As you can see, it's pretty small. It may be about 4 feet tall, 3.5, 4 feet tall, but I have blossoms. Then across here, this is my sweet tart mango. This one is probably about 4 feet tall. This was just planted last year. So I see it looks like the pinnacles are slightly swollen. So we may get some blossoms. Pinnacles are just slightly swollen. Looks like it's trying to blossom, but no blossoms yet. All right, so now we're gonna focus on the other side of the garden. This side of the garden is only a 1.5 years old. So everything you see on that side is a 1.5 years old. First, we have our Rollinia tree. And this is in the Annona family, same as sweet sop, sour sop. And you get, as you can see here, and the mountain sour sop. It dropped all its leaves, but you can see it is already beginning to push out new leaves. So I'm really hoping that this gives me fruit this year. This is getting to be big now. It's probably about 6.5, 7 feet tall. And it's pretty big. So I'm really hoping to get some fruit. And here, over here, we have a Mateo tree, which is in the same family as lychee and longan. It looks pretty beat up with the winter. We'll see if it's still green, but as you can see, it's lost most of its leaves and it's still pretty small. Then guys, look at and this is my Orange Crush jackfruit, guys. Yes, this is only a 1.5 years in the ground. When I planted it, it was maybe 3 feet. And as you can see, the cold has not bothered it at all. It's an absolutely beautiful plant. No blossoms yet. I've been coming out here checking. No blossoms yet, but you can see the trunk is getting quite thick. So I'm hoping I'll get some jackfruit pretty soon. Beside it, this is my Pakistani mulberry. This has really been a disappointment. I have cut it back. In all, I think I've got maybe 8 mulberries from it. It looks like the leaves are now beginning to come back. So we'll see if it does better this year. You know, it's a very big plant, very big tree, but of course, this is also only a 1.5 years. It's extremely fast growing. But if it doesn't give me fruit, I'm probably going to replace it with something else. Over here, I have a cocoa plum. This one did blossom, but the blossoms fell off. I haven't seen any more blossoms come up, but it's only February, so still not too late. This is the bougainvillea. This was a very small plant in a pot. I transplanted it to the ground, which may be a mistake, guys, because this is huge. It's way over the fence. It jumped up over the fence, but it is a very, very beautiful plant. I think I'm gonna go in and try and cut it back, but right now it's full of flowers. And to wrap things up, over here is my Super Julie mango, and this was also a year and a half old, planted summer of 23. And as you can see, this is absolutely loaded with flowers. Last year, even though it was a very small plant, it actually formed six mangoes, but of course the tree was too small. They all fell off, so we didn't get any fruit, but I am sure that we're going to get some fruit this year. The tree is loaded with blossoms. Over here we have coconuts. These were all planted from actual nuts. I planted three nuts. These are two yellow heart coconuts. You can tell by the yellow trunk. And this is a normal green skinned coconut. I'm thinking of removing the one in the middle because I would love to have a hammock here in between the two coconut plants. Over here is a mango tree that I'm considering moving. I'm not sure what it is. It was given by a friend. They said it's related to East Indian, but the leaves just always look very beat up. Not sure if I'm gonna keep it here, and it has never blossomed. This tree has probably been here like about a year and a half, 2 years. Then finally we have an achacha plant or achacha root fruit. Um, we had it, and I had it further up the front of the garden, but it was, I think, in too much direct sun. Back here it gets some morning shade, and it seems to be a lot greener and doing really well even though we're in the winter. So I'm hoping to do better. It's slow growing, but once it fruits, it's supposed to give an abundant amount of fruit, and I believe it's related to the guinep. Well, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment below and see you on the next video. We got lots of harvesting to do, lots of cassava, so be sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you will see when I'm ready to harvest all this cassava. Till next time, bye now.